Hello, everyone. Thanks for pressing play. You are watching a brand new episode of Talking Comics, ExcaliburCCGTV, where every week we come together to tell you about the fantastic comics that are hitting the shelf for that week. And this week we are talking about March 16, 2016. Hello, everyone. I am Chris. This is my co-host, Randy. And we are Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, as well as in Texarkana, Texas. You can always find out what's going on with us at our website, ExcaliburCCG.com. And guys, we are almost at 900 subscribers. So let's push that over 900 this week. Make that happen for us. What do you think about that, bro?
I think that they can do it.
I think they can do it too. I don't think it'll be hard for you to do it all. And hey, thanks to all of our new subscribers that we have here on YouTube, and whether you've come across us on iTunes, Stitcher, Bleeding Cool, Weeby Geeks, anywhere else, Facebook, whatever. Thanks for coming. Thanks for listening and or watching and being part of our community here. We really appreciate it. Take a moment to share the video and tell somebody about it. That would be awesome to help us get over that 900 subscriber threshold. And guys, we had a fun weekend last weekend with the in-store comic convention that happened worldwide via the web. And we had a lot of people come through, a lot of in and out traffic that came through that Saturday. What did you think about that day?
That was the best I could have hoped for with that.
Yep.
With the space that we have able to be provided for everybody and all the people who wanted to come to this, to have kind of an ebb and flow of the crowd.
Yep.
Come and see what they want with it. One of the dangerous things was having schedules change, so people that knew specific times where they wanted to see something, having it switched out from underneath them. That kind of stunk, but it is what it is. Circumstances change for everybody.
Yeah.
You got to miss a pretty hilarious bit with Fraction and Deconic.
I know, right?
That was great. You can go on to Kelly Sue Deconic's Twitter page and see her burrito from the whole disaster there. The other, my one thing I would want to see if they decide to do this again, and I really hope that they do decide to do this again, is more preparation from the panelists. You know, hopefully they have an idea of what this is going to be like a little more.
Yeah.
And that they can give us work that they can talk about.
Yes.
Because it was a little aggravating that, Didio should have known that he's got this whole big rebirth thing happening and people want to know. You got to have something there for them. You should have had like, these are okay things, topics, these are not. Kind of something there to give the people what they want, because they want to know, do I want to buy this?
Right, exactly.
Kind of thing. So I would like to see people just have material that they're prepared to talk about.
Yeah.
Whenever they ask for something upcoming or promotional, like that.
Yeah.
That was one of my big takeaways from that. But, they were real fun. You learned something very important from the videos. Chris learned about pegging from Brian Michael Bendis. so there was that.
Thank you, Bendis. Yes, thank you. It was cool. It was cool, man. You know, they answered a lot of our questions that we asked directly to the different panelists.
I don't know how many comic shops signed up for this, because I was really expecting it to be very busy and them not to be able to get to our questions.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will be successful, that they're going to want to produce more of this, maybe biannual, or, do something more often, to generate some interest. And I think that a lot of people that can't go to these conventions get a chance to actually see and hear from these creators. And so that was just like one of the biggest, bonuses for me.
Yep. Yeah. I hope they do it again next year. It was pretty cool. It is streamed live. So sometimes there's technical difficulties, that occur with that kind of setup and stuff. But overall, it was pretty smooth.
Yeah.
It was pretty flowing. There were some schedule changes. Some people got pushed later into the day. Some came on earlier. There were some great moments. Randy asked Dan Didio what his favorite Marvel comic is, and Dan Didio answered it.
And it actually turned out to be a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
Because, it was something that led him to make an important signing for DC Comics there. So it was really cool to see the thought process that went into something like that. That it was, I was kind of trolling.
I know, right?
I'll admit it. But yeah, so there was that. And did you do the turnaround? Or did the host just do that with asking, Marvel about DC books?
We asked that.
Did you ask that as well?
Them as well?
Okay,
and they were laughing as they asked. They were like, "Yeah, well, we asked Dan this earlier, so we got to ask you guys."
Right. So okay, but yeah, I thought Dan handled that really well, and it was cool because I was not expecting an answer like that. I thought he may have been a bit of an ass or something. And like, yeah, really, okay, that's funny.
Yeah, exactly. Another funny thing too that caught a lot of traction on Twitter, especially, was when Ryan North was on. And he's writing Squirrel Girl, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But somebody, the interviewer, asked him, what story have you not written that you would love to write at Marvel? With whatever character. And he was like, I'd love to do a Galactus private investigator, series. He's got the trench coat. And that caught on like wildfire on Twitter. People were talking about it. They're like, I would buy that. I would read that. Galactus detective. I'm
old fashioned. I really don't understand how to read Twitter.
People loved it, and then we had Matt Fraction, Kill Issue the Conic, and their little episode that happened, and everybody came out of that safe and sound.
You got to see what Cullen Bunn actually looks like.
I know, seriously, right? I know, seriously.
The voice doesn't match the look there. He looks like he's one of those villains from Scooby-Doo that you want to pull the mask off of and see who's really underneath.
Exactly. And also, later on, Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk came on.
Yeah.
And they did this. Alan Tudyk created this web series called Con Man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it was located.
Was it not a YouTube series?
I can't remember if it was a YouTube or Hulu or one of those. But
I know it's not Hulu because
it's not Hulu. It was a Kickstarter project,
right?
That was done, and it was like 13 episodes, and they're short episodes, like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And guys, that is one of the funniest series I have ever seen in my life.
Right.
I emailed Chris. I said, you gotta watch this, bro. You gotta watch this because it was as funny and as memorable to me as the IT crowd and extras. I mean, it was just hilarious.
The best thing about Alan Tudyk that I've heard recently is I don't care about what's her name, Vanessa Hudgens. I don't know how to even say her name, but she's supposed to be on that new DC comedy TV series called Powerless.
Yeah.
And Alan Tudyk's supposed to be on there as well.
Exactly.
And that has me excited.
And they also announced that they're going to be a second season of Con Man later this year, like in October or so.
Yeah, that's what they were kind of talking about that.
He wouldn't say anything about Rogue One. He was like, I can't say anything about Rogue One.
Yeah. Fillion said he could tell you, but he's probably just making it up on the spot.
Exactly. So, it was great, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Hopefully some of you got to take a look at this at your comic shops that they were participating with this. If not, beg them to jump in and participate the next time. The more interest there is for something like this, the more chance there is for it to happen again or more often.
Yeah.
So we'd like to see something like that. We've got so much we could keep talking about this, but we've got lots of comics.
Let me give one tip.
Okay.
For next year, if you do participate in the in-store comic convention, I think one of the things that helped us get our questions answered is that we did ask questions from our official Excalibur Twitter account.
Right.
So I'm not saying they won't answer individuals' questions, that tweet them, but I think you have a better chance of getting your question answered if you're able to participate at a comic shop and they ask the question for you through like their Twitter account and stuff. So that's just a tip because we had several of our questions answered being a participating retailer and all that jazz. So that's just a tip, guys. Yeah. Have fun with that.
If I tried asking you a question, I don't think I get there. I don't understand the hashtags. I'd probably end up asking Kanye West a question instead. I don't understand them.
So guys, thanks for everybody that came through the shop and was a part of that, and participated in that. We really appreciate it. Thank you to all of our new subscribers. Help us get past that 900 subscriber point. And guys, we're going to dive into some new number ones because we have several really interesting and big ones to tell you about for this week. And I'm going to go ahead and kick it off. All right. Marvel is giving us even more Iron Man this week with the fantastic award-nominated creative team, Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Maleev, with International Iron Man #1 hitting this week. These two creators team up again to tell the story of Tony Stark trying to find out the truth about his past, since he has now found out that he is adopted. And he teams up with none other than Doctor Doom.
Yes.
To find out more about his past and to find out even more about the secrets of the Marvel Universe in general. That's going to be happening with this series. So be sure and check it out. It's on my pull list. Check it out. Tell us what you think about it.
Make sure, guys, this is the creative team behind one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Daredevil storyline ever. 50, 60 issues in that storyline. Phenomenal.
It was, yeah.
From DC Comics, it's digital first, but now it's seeing print with Legends of Tomorrow #1.
Yep.
You are getting a lot of bang for your buck with this. There are going to be 4 different stories here. The first story involves Firestorm. He's looking to retrieve stolen research from Professor Stein's lab. We also have a story of Will Magnus, his metal men. They're facing off against cyber terrorists called Nameless. Ooh, Nameless keeps on popping up everywhere these days. There's also a Metamorpho story that he's being held prisoner by Simon Stagg, and only Stagg's daughter Sapphire can save him. And finally, we're looking at Sugar and Spike. This one is probably your story you're looking forward to most from this, in which they're grown up now.
Yep.
They're private eyes, private detectives, and they are trying to find and retrieve a stolen cache of Batman's retired costumes. They've been stolen by Killer Moth.
Killer Moth. There we go.
He's going to eat them.
It makes so much sense for the costumes to be stolen by a moth.
Yeah, it really does.
So there we go, guys. I'm looking for
great creative teams too, but
yeah.
I mean there are just so many there that
yeah.
You can look that up, or you can see our go to our page, look it up, and see that.
Yep, because it's on our website. So there we go, guys. Another one from IDW Comics, Three Devils #1. Written, drawn, inked, all this by Bo Hampton, creator of this series, coming, like I mentioned, from IDW. This takes a look at it. This is basically a high-action supernatural western that centers around a gypsy girl and a pact of vengeance that has been sworn by her, an ex-slave with no soul, and a carnival freak billed as the Human Wolf. These 3 team up together to find the entities, the hideous, inhuman entities that are responsible for their condition. So if you like supernatural westerns, action, drama, maybe, I'm quite sure, a slice of horror in all of this, check out Three Devils #1 from IDW Comics hitting the shelf this week.
Sweet. We've got a comic here probably specifically for Lee, because
Lee!
Valiant Comics. It's the new ongoing series of A&A. It's no longer called Archer and Armstrong. It's A&A.
A&A.
This time, #1. I don't know who Ryfer Roberts is, but David LaFuente is the artist on board here. So he jumps from Marvel over to Valiant Comics. And with this, Archer's going to have to venture into Armstrong's endless bag in order to save some friends from the mad god Bacchus. Interesting concept here. One of the things you need to be aware of is that get to your shop early if you did not already put this on your pull list with a pre-order, because they apparently had limited runs, print runs with this, and they've already decided to ship within the same week the first and the second print. So there's no guarantee what print you're going to get if your shop had to adjust orders or add something to it here. And if they have run out, you're probably going to have to be looking at a second print that the shop can order for you.
Yep.
So we cannot stress enough to get to go and get on the pull list, to add it to your pull list. Chris, tell them a little bit about what Excalibur does to help with this.
What we do, guys, is on a daily basis, we post brand new series that are coming out in the Diamond previews, like 2 months ahead, that you can go ahead and pre-order directly from our website. Just go to our website. If you go there right now, you will see images of all kinds of different comics from Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, from all kinds of different companies that are brand new series, brand new #1s that you can go ahead and pre-order, put on your list right on our website. This is primarily for our local customers, but if you have a mail order subscription with us as well, you can still take care of that as well online as long as you have an account set up with Chris, the store owner. So it's very easy to do. You just put in your name, your email address, and phone number, and choose either the Shreveport store or the Texarkana store, and boom, click submit, and that will be added to your pull list.
And for those of you who are outside of the state lines,
yep.
If you still want to go and look through on our website and see what we have available there, and you have your own local comic shop, you can contact them and let them know, because this is something that's in the current previews that's currently on their order list. If you don't pick up the previews magazine, which I highly recommend, especially if you are an active, avid comic collector and like to see, take a look at all these new series, because we have new series that you can try to get a hold of. We might have to order maybe a second print, stuff like Turncoat that's coming out this week,
yep.
and Doorman that's coming out. We can get information to that if you ask about it on the in the comments below. But those are some fun looking series, but they're things that we don't know. But it was available to order there. So we try and make it available to you. Please take advantage of that.
Yes.
Cannot stress that enough.
There's like no reason to not get what you want.
Right.
Or what you're interested in. We have several different ways to make that happen, and it's easy peasy.
The only time that something may happen is Diamond may leave it out of the box.
Yeah.
That's about the only thing, and that's outside of our control.
That's out of our hands, exactly. Or they have a truck that crashes en route and don't call anybody to let them know that a truck has crashed, and we find out about it from some other news outlet other than Diamond.
Did that happen?
It did. Did you?
Oh,
Bleeding Cool reported that a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I totally missed that.
And nobody found out about it except through Bleeding Cool, because they reported the story, because somebody reported the news coverage for that local news station saying, this happened.
Wow.
So
I totally missed that.
there was all kinds of retailers upset for that region, because it was going to a region to supply.
Right.
And it didn't happen. So guys, when it comes to those type of things from Diamond, it's out of our hands, but we can still get it to your list, and then we can get it to you whenever it's available.
But you've got to let us know.
Let us know. So guys, those are the number ones that we're covering for this week. We are moving on to some storylines that are happening this week. One from Marvel, one from DC. Let's go ahead and knock out DC first. Superman number 50. If you have been waiting for Superman to return to his former glory, this is the issue that it will happen in. This is a very special issue that sees the Man of Steel back to full power as he faces his greatest enemy, and he comes face to face with the pre-Flashpoint Kal-El. This is the meeting of Superman you've been waiting for. So guys, there we go.
Sans underwear.
There we go. Sans underwear. Also, guys, from Marvel Comics, we're about to dive into one of the big mutant storylines that's going to be happening for the next several months, as far as I can tell. We get Apocalypse War starting this week with Extraordinary X-Men number 8. These are going to be part of the Apocalypse. These different titles are going to be a part of it, but they're going to be self-contained or individual stories where you don't have to get all of them to get it all. But I'm sure it wouldn't hurt. But you can get the ones that you want and still get a great story.
It adds different aspects to the story.
Exactly.
For you.
So with this number 8 that hits this week, we get to see mutant kind is still an endangered species. How do they ensure their future? Other than to just skip ahead and go to it. So we get to see the mutant race Last Hope. They are jettisoned in the time stream. And the extraordinary X-Men are going to make a discovery. The fate of their kind is about to fall into the hands of one of their most formidable adversaries ever, Apocalypse. And now the race is on to prevent this, to find out even more what's going on with this, and make sure that mutant kind still survives. So there we go. Apocalypse Wars starts this week.
And it's kind of a cool little concept if you're not familiar with it, in which Apocalypse has pretty much deemed with all this, the Terrigen Mists and stuff that is causing the illness and sickness of mutants, deaths of mutants, that mutant kind is not fit to survive.
Oh!
Inhumans may be the ones that are fit to survive. So it's a total twist on what you've usually seen from Apocalypse, that, the mutants that are strongest will survive.
Yeah.
Apparently none of them are strong.
Dang.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I like that. Yeah, I like that. It's a cool twist.
That is a cool twist. That really is. So guys, those are the storylines that are hitting for this week. Expect more to come in the next coming weeks as well. So now it's time for our favorites, people. Our favorites, the first comics that'll be at the top of our stacks, the first ones that we read, that we get our grubby paws. Randy, what is up for you, bro?
I don't touch my comics with grubby paws. I clean my hands first. We got Captain Marvel #3 coming out. In this, there are a couple of questions there. Who is the traitor, possible traitor within Alpha Flight?
That's right.
We also have the question, where did this mysterious ship come from? And finally, why is it at this point in time with all this that's happening, do Carol Danvers' powers decide to go on the fritz, kind of crap out? Okay. So hopefully we'll get answers to all three of those questions within this issue. Also, Power Man and Iron Fist #2 comes out. First issue was great. Fun read. I like the art with it. Luke Cage, he is not back together with Danny Rand. He is not. He just has to kind of help Danny, fix a situation in which they may have inadvertently given something to someone they shouldn't have. It's not their fault, but they're not back together. They're non-duos. Don't call him that. They're done with that. He's moved on in his life.
Yep.
He's not.
Okay.
They're not Power Man Iron Fist. They're not Heroes for Hire. Don't call him that.
Don't call him that.
No, he's done. Probably not.
Awesome. Guys, for me, got to talk about it. Injection #8 hits this week. We get to take a look at Vivek Headland, who's the member of this team that's kind of like the detective of this group. He calls in the rest of the group as consultants, and they're looking for a ghost. A very specific kind of ghost. And it's been so cool so far. So, guys, check it out. This is Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey. They teamed up together and did the Moon Knight series last year, or the year before when it came out, did the first volume of that. Fantastic job. Now doing their own creator work here at Image. Another one that Randy and I both are going to be picking up, Starve #7. Yes. This takes a look at the streets. We're going to the streets with this, and on the streets there's a black market. There's black market greens. There's urban chicken farms, and there's off-brand fast food joints that you can get and participate in and get stuff from on the street. So we can take a look at that aspect of what's going on within this world where food is such an important backdrop of everything that's going on.
Right.
So guys, and it's just awesome. You need to be reading Starve. It is freaking awesome. The whole idea, the whole concept, the main character,
right,
loving
Gavin.
it.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Gavin right now is trying to do something to help the people, the average person, not the elite.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's going to work with the way everything kind of has its own justice or law amongst all the black market and all this.
Yeah.
So, well, it'll be interesting to see what obstacles he faces with this next step in his life.
Yes. Looking forward to it. Great series. Guys, those are our favorites for this week. These are the first ones that we'll be reading once we get our hands on them. Tell us what your favorites are for this week in the comments below. Let's have a discussion about that. And guys, you know what time it is. It's time for our question of the week. And you would literally have to be literally have to be on a different planet to have not seen the second Captain America Civil War trailer that dropped just this past week. Yes. So guys, we're going to discuss it some, but that's the question of the week. What are your thoughts of the second Captain America Civil War trailer that has just dropped this past week? Randy, we could probably spend an hour talking about this 2-minute trailer.
Yeah.
But what are some of the highlights for you from this trailer?
I like to see the interaction between there appears to be a lot of interaction between Black Panther and people, but Black Panther and Winter Soldier.
Yes.
I like seeing that.
Yes.
And then the total fan service that involves Ant-Man and Hawkeye.
Yes.
That is something that needed to happen and did happen here. I'm just going to go ahead and say this, everybody. I'm going to throw this out here because if these brothers, the Russo brothers, do justice to this like they did to Winter Soldier, this Civil War storyline that they develop and make for this movie is going to be better than the miniseries that they're using the name from. The miniseries had its moments. It started off very strong and kind of fizzled for me. I loved Cap tearing out of the helicarrier and riding the jet down kind of thing. I loved all that. But then it just kind of, it was a whole lot in a whole little time, and some delays here and there, and stuff. It just, the delays kill it, the interest for me. Yeah. But with what they have available, they have set up an extremely emotional, and I mean, my emotions are very well invested in this trailer, in this movie, and what's going to go on here. Yeah. I can't wait to see what happens. Tell me some of your highlights. I know the big highlight. It's fantastic. I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to the fight the actual fight between the two groups, between Team Iron Man and Team Captain America. From what we see in the previous trailer, where we got to see the Iron Man beat down by Captain America and Winter Soldier. That was in the previous trailer. We didn't see much of that, but in this one we saw more one-on-one between Cap and Iron Man. And I love, because I just watched the first movie again the other day, and I loved the scene where he takes that deep breath and he says, "I can do this all day." Because he said that when he was a shriveled up little nothing in the alleyway in the first episode. Yeah. When he was fighting that guy in there. That was just a great throw back to that, and just to his character in that one moment. Right. He just keeps going. But guys, there's so much. The Black Panther looked freaking awesome. Yeah. He chases down Winter Soldier, knocks him off the bike. And his bullets plinking off him. With that vibranium Panther suit. Yes! That looked awesome! Looked so cool, so cool. And guys, stay to the very end or not, but Spider-Man is going to be there, and he's in this trailer, and he looks amazing. He looks amazing. We get 5 seconds of him. I think he looks spectacular. I'm going to stick with amazing. Maybe sensational. Amazing. Superior. Amazing. It's going to be awesome. Awesome. Scarlet? No. Iron? It could be. Who knows? It looks great. It's just enough of a tease that you know that he's there. He looks amazing. It's going to be awesome. And just the tease that they give you does a great job of showing you. When you originally look at the lineups for the teams, you're like, really? Cap's team looks a little underwhelming. But they do a good job of showing you that maybe they should not be underestimated there. Yeah. So I like that a lot. Yeah, and watching this trailer, there's a lot of things they do a lot of the cutting. It's a great cut for the trailer, but don't take it at face value, because you can tell from some cuts to the next that it's just not the way the movie's going to be, even though they kind of make it look like it is. Especially with the shot where it looks like it's Winter Soldier shooting War Machine out of the sky. You look at War Machine's cut, that's a totally different place. So, there's several things like that, but I'm still looking forward to it being a fantastic movie. Yeah. My one thing that I don't get with this movie so far, and we only have trailers to go with, is I don't get Tony Stark being the guy that would be there on the general's side. Oh, I do. And saying, we got to he's the one saying we got to put ourselves in check. Yeah. I do. He's the one that's responsible for Ultron. He was trying to go through and create something so that the Avengers would no longer be necessary. And he created Ultron. And so that weighs heavy on him. I think that's one of the big factors there. That's why he took time off at the end of the last movie. Yeah. Because of that. My one thing that I tend that tends to be tough for me to chew is that the Chitauri attack, Hydra explosion happening, and then Ultron's big plan that happened, those are not at the fault of the heroes. Why do they need to be held in check? The Chitauri happened without the heroes. Yeah. That was going to happen. They stepped in to prevent more damage from happening. Cap stopped the major first wave of happening from Hydra. Yep. That could have been much worse. There was destruction, but he prevented much more destruction than there could have been. Now, the only thing that has some fault is that because Tony was never forthcoming with these futuristic ideas and plans that he has, because he's a futurist, he did not warn people about his Ultron and what he was creating here. And so that, with the town there, the European town, could have been prevented. But they took every step to make sure human life was safe before they had to take this thing down that would have destroyed all life on Earth.
Right.
There. So, this guilt that they're putting on the Avengers for these faults I don't feel is their fault in the least bit.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. Like, the one that would be closest would be Ultron.
Right.
It's what happened to Sokovia.
Sokovia, thank you.
But like in that trailer, for each of the scenes, there's like a little diagram or just a little digital image that shows like casualties for each one. So people died in each of these events that they're talking about. But, when the general comes up. But
the great thing is they took great steps to save lives.
Exactly.
And, I mean, that's the thing I loved about just even the first Avengers film, is they had a plan as they were going through, and like, we're fighting, you save someone here. Okay, we're fighting again. Now save these people, direct them. And that was awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, the second, the Age of Ultron was a total FU to the Man of Steel with all that destruction, where they like kind of beat you over the head saying, we will get all these people out of here before we have to destroy this. that was totally, I think, something that they overplayed with it. Right. But I mean, casualties will happen, but they really looked to try and minimize what they could with it, and I appreciated that from the films. Here, whatever. It's going to be freaking awesome.
Oh man, it is.
Team Cap all the way, by the way.
Team Cap, he says. There we go, guys. So guys, look, we could go on another hour easily. Easily. So guys, tell us in the comments below what you thought of this Captain America Civil War, the second trailer that just hit this past week. I'll have a link down below that you can see and go from there. We want to have a discussion about that. Tell us what you think about it, because as you can tell, we are super excited about it.
Yeah.
It just can't be helped.
This is how you get me excited about going to see a movie.
This is how you do it. Every Hollywood, this is my man Randy. This is how you get him excited about seeing your movie. So there we go. And that's fair.
No, Ghostbusters was successful. They have me excited to go see it.
But that's just because Thor's going to be in it. Oh!
He's a pretty sexy dude.
There we go, guys. So, guys, tell us in the comments below what new number ones you're getting. Are you going to check out these storylines? Tell us what your favorites are and answer our question of the week. Let's have a discussion about that in the comments below. Chop, 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 chop. Get to it. We want to know what you think about it. So, guys, that's really it for this week. Anything else to add, sir?
A long video.
I know, right? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Some folks will love it. Some folks will hate it. But, guys, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Share the video, please, if you have a moment to do that. We would really, really appreciate it. And thanks for being a part of our community. It is fun. It is fun to do these videos. It's fun to talk to you guys in the comments and interact with you. It's just great. It's very, very fun for us. So, guys, until our next video, be safe. Take care. Read some fun, great comics. Leave us some fantastic comments down below, and we will see you in our next video. Bye-bye.